He got real fucking did the podcast in like 5 minutes. Like, hey, welcome to the We Got You podcast. We're done.
How long have we been doing this?
How long have we been going at it?
I need 12 minutes.
It's gonna be
It's like the fastest podcast ever.
All right, so before we get started, I have to say, everything I'm going to say here tonight is my own personal opinion, not the company's beliefs necessarily. So you're just getting straight Ted here.
You're going rogue.
Going rogue. That's right.
That's what's up.
Can't have the lawyers yelling at me,
We like that. Kick everybody the fuck out. Let's go rogue. Let's get the juice.
We'll do it live.
Dad, let's get the juice out of this story. What's going on, people? We are back with another episode of the We Got You podcast. We got my man Bradley Jackson here.
What's up? What's up?
We got a special guest with us, man. Special guest. We got Ted here, and we got myself, Damian Reyes. Hey guys, so thanks for tuning in today. Today is a hot topic, especially in the state of Texas, worldwide, nationwide. Especially, it's just got a big spotlight on it, and it's the CBD world. I know y'all have heard of it. I know you've heard of it.
Oh,
You're using it.
For sure.
I know you know about it. You know I know about it. And what better way to talk about it than having our own client expert with us. So my man Ted has blessed us with sitting in today and dropping knowledge on us. Ted?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm really here. I'm really excited just to be here and to share some knowledge with everybody. It's a topic that everyone seems to be talking about, but there's just so much misinformation around it.
A lot of gray
area, and a lot of just misunderstanding of like what it is and what quality is around CBD. There's so many people selling it, I think, unethically.
At
There's
gas stations,
snake oil
I see them
kind of
everywhere, next to the rhino pills.
Exactly. Exactly. So, just teaching people, like, how are you a smart consumer, right? How do you make sure that you're getting, like, high-quality product? Because so many people have been like, oh, I tried CBD and nothing happened. And that was me, right? Like, that was my story for years until I finally, became a convert.
I thought
there was just too much hype. But I was like, it's just.
I used to think you get high off of it.
So maybe a lot of people, a lot of people still do.
Well, there's still some CBD that has a little bit of THC in it. So I've tried it before. I've smoked it out of a bong. I rolled it, and to me, you still get a little high from it on certain strands.
I never smoked it. I put it on my elbow.
It looks exactly like regular. If you know what bud looks like, it looks like CBD.
Well, I mean, weed, like, there's so much more to weed than just the THC, right? And so, when you have different strains of weed that you're smoking, they all have different effects. Like, you can smoke two different strains and feel completely different.
Yeah.
THC is the exact same in all of them. It's the CBD and these other cannabinoids and flavonoids and terpenes and these other, compounds that are in there that give it that sort of distinct feeling, right? So you can still get that entire spectrum of feeling just without the THC, which is that feeling of, like, being high, right?
So the CBD is just straight across the board. It doesn't, like, have a hybrid, so to say.
Well, so CBD is one compound that is found in hemp and cannabis plants. There's 140 beneficial compounds in this plant, and we only talk about this one CBD, which has become...
So hemp plant is different than a weed plant?
So they come from the same plant. Like, cannabis is the plant, right? Okay. Marijuana is usually what we call the ones that have THC in it. Okay. And then, like, CBD or hemp flower is what we're calling ones that have less than a certain amount of THC in it. But it's really the exact same thing. It just has to do with whether the plant is producing THC or not. So you could have the same, pineapple, whatever strain that is available in, like, a no THC variety. And it's going to feel similar.
Oh, damn, nice. It's going to, like, smell the same, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Pineapple Kush?
Pineapple Kush.
I've had it.
Yeah,
I've heard about it. I've heard about it. Yeah, so recently Texas just legalized hemp, right? Like, I believe it was through the agricultural committee and it kind of like sabotaged. It seemed like the police department and our criminal justice system, because now they're dismissing cases and even postponing them. Now, motherfucker get pulled over. And they can't tell you.
Drug dog. Can't distinguish between them.
But then they're taking your case, and some counties were like just completely dismissing it, and some counties now are just putting your shit on hold until they send it off to labs or the technology catches up to these cases. Because I don't know how long of a window they can hold your shit for, but apparently that's what they're doing now.
Right now in Austin, the testing is backed up like 18 months.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, if they catch you with it, if they believe you that it's hemp flower, they're probably gonna just let you go.
Yeah.
So if a drug dog pulls you over and you have this in your car, they're gonna smell weed or no?
No.
It just depends on what the dog is trained for, but they smell like, like they're trained on weed flower. It's not just like a THC pill or something. So to the dog, like the hemp flower, it's going to smell the exact same. They don't know like, oh, there's less than 0.3% THC in this.
Yeah.
He's good.
So yeah, they would
He's good.
yeah,
That's
he's
what I'm saying.
good.
So if I get pulled over with this, they could say, hey, you have drugs in your car, and they would think that it would be weed, right? I mean, I think that's what the problem. I think that's why people are getting backed up with it, and that's why you said it.
Well, the reason why people are getting backed up is because
That's why they put everything on hold.
there's no or putting things on hold because there's no tests out there to test the potency
Yeah, like
of
in
it.
the field. Like you have to send it off to
so
the
they
lab.
only have tests to say either yes or no it has THC, and CBD does have legally can have up to 0.3%.
And ours actually has none in it. So that's one of
None.
the things that's unique, 0.0. And like certified by the government in Colorado because we want it to be accessible to everybody. Like
Yeah.
we want for law enforcement, military, teachers, doctors, people who, take drug tests regularly and who can't have any THC. What we're making is essentially like the cold pressed juice equivalent. So there's no heat and there's no extra solvents in it. So normally what happens is they take the hemp oil that has a little bit of THC in it, and they either boil it off, or they add additional solvents that help to remove it, like chemicals that remove the THC. But what people don't appreciate is that heat degrades all these beneficial compounds that are in the plant. So you're actually destroying it when you remove the THC. And that was the cool invention behind what we're making is the ability to do it with no extra heat and with no extra solvents. So
Are y'all the only ones doing it, or is there other people out there doing it? Is there a patent on it? What's the?
Yeah, so there's a patent on it. There's a few people who are doing it in different ways. Ours is the one that is available at scale right now. Like there's people who are experimenting with cool new methods and we're keeping our eye on like what's the latest in extraction tech. And there are a lot of people doing really interesting things out there. As soon as that becomes like commercially available to where it can be, consistent enough and scalable enough for, a company like us, I mean, we're going to be the first ones to jump on it.
Yeah, and so y'all going the more medical approach as opposed more the flower approach, right? Like with your company, which is actually what we're drinking. You see these red cups. We really never have red cups or any drinks on the table. It's a oil dropper. It's a hemp oil dropper. Ama. We mixed it with this one I believe is lemonade with Topo Chico and a dropper. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel fantastic. Bradley over here.
Can't even talk.
What? See, so Bradley, I mean, it's very, I'm just going to speak on how I feel. I feel relaxed. I can feel like my blood moving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel my blood moving and I'm happy to be here. No,
Yeah, man. No, I mean, it's nice to be able to like have a drink with someone and have that sort of social interaction without having to consume alcohol. Like alcohol is poisonous to humans, like hangovers, you don't feel so good the next morning. So it's nice to be able to go out, have a drink with someone that's going to get you feeling loose and relaxed and in a good mood, but without the alcohol,
Is something like, do you see like CBD going towards we just opened up a non-alcoholic bar here in Austin. Like, do you see products like this in there being offered, like, or are they already in there? Or
we're already talking to people about
that's
it.
what's
When
up.
I was out in California, a few months ago at one of the bars that I was at, they have like a whole menu that's low alcohol, and they'll put some CBD in it for you too. And we're talking to bars here locally in Austin already because people want that.
Yeah. Well, shit, that's what's up, man. Yeah, this is it's definitely my second time trying this. I've done the cream, I've done the
This is pretty
droppers.
badass. I
This
just
is
put
Bradley's
this on my
first
elbow,
time.
and I have a tennis elbow, and this feels pretty good on my elbow.
It feels good. You feel a difference. Droppers, you feel great.
Yeah,
So like, before you're asking, what's sort of like the angle that we're going for, and really like we're not trying to be a cannabis company or a CBD company. We're a health and wellness company. We want to make products that make you feel good and that allow your like innate wellness to shine through. It just so happens that hemp is a really effective plant for doing that.
It is.
So we're mixing, all kinds of botanicals and things to give you, those effects.
Is a market? The market's going to be pretty competitive, right? Because it's a fast-growing market. Like I saw a study last night where it said it's like 500% growth this year.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the 20 billion in the next 7 years is going to hit, but you're like it's going to be even more than that. So I'm like, fuck.
It's gonna be a lot more than that.
Yeah. So it's going to be it's the future. It's part of everyone's future. Whether you knock it or you try it, it's going to be part. It's going to be everywhere, and eventually it's going to be available to. You think does it apply to a certain age, 18 and up, or is it for all ages?
Yeah, so I mean, like, we target 18 and up, and we put on our website that that's who it's made for.
Yeah.
But there are people who are giving it like to their kids for things. I mean, one of the first like actual pharmaceutical drugs that was created from CBD is for treating epilepsy in children.
See,
It's called Epidiolex.
My sister has epilepsy, and so that was like one of the things. She didn't take it because she was already past that age as a kid. But man, that was like one of the things that she looked into, because the medicine for epilepsy, it makes you like it just makes you sad. It makes you tired. She doesn't like taking the medicine, and so she actually has been looking into CBD oil to take. I mean, it's shown a lot of growth. With epilepsy. So
and there's this interesting kind of like trend where, you know, we find these plants in nature, right? Or like we find plants that indigenous cultures have been using for thousands of years for treating some sort of medical ailment. Pharmaceutical companies.
They don't have Tylenol in the rainforest.
but they have something, right?
So like,
they have something.
Yeah, they got something.
That's a perfect example. Like Tylenol and all these, you know, pharmaceuticals, like it comes from somewhere in nature for the most part, you know? And then we turn it into a pill, and we actually lose a lot of the effectiveness from it. It's the same thing with CBD. Like CBD is what's popular, but you know what we make? It's phytocannabinoid-rich hemp oil, and it has all of these, you know, beneficial properties that each do their own thing, and together, you know, are beautiful. And we almost dumb it down when we talk about just CBD, this one single compound, you know. So we want to encourage people to take something that has like a broad spectrum of, you know, these beneficial compounds that are in there that all work together to, you know, give you the best results.
And also, like, I feel like it's going to be crucial to inform the older generation. Because like the people our age, you're, you know, slightly older than us, they're way more like the hippies, but like the real people who are out there.
I mean, I saw a story with a cop, and he went to a smoke shop, and I guess they were trying to take down a smoke shop because they had CBD in it, and it's because they said people were getting high off the CBD, and so that, I mean, that's, they didn't know. They don't know.
They want a reason. They want a reason.
It's true, and I mean, it makes sense. Like there's been this long-standing cultural stigma against weed and hippie culture and all that kind of thing. And
come to find out, it's going to take time. They've had it right. They've had it right this whole time. we're like, I bet you there's like hippies still smoking. Like these motherfuckers are finally got their head out their ass. You know what I mean?
But yeah, like, you know, over time, I think people are going to realize that it's different, right? Like you can have just these sort of medical healing benefits from the plant without getting high. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that, you know, a lot of like the drugs that they're taking normally aren't giving them, you know, like the results they want, or have all these side effects and things like that.
To me, the biggest thing that I pay attention to is that we're in the social media era, is that like the videos that are out there of like a kid instantly like stopping, like having seizures and all that type of stuff, and like, man, there's some shot. I mean, there's crazy ass videos of little kids just going crazy, and the mom does a little dropper, and then deal's done.
What would you use this for?
Yeah, so there's a couple different products in front of you. So one is our like standard tincture, right, which is like an oil, and that's for like more of a systemic benefit. So that's something that you take a couple times a day. It builds up in your system, and it gives you the sort of whole body like effects over time. The salve is like sort of a cream that you rub on, and that's for like immediate targeted relief. So if you have a muscle that's sore, or you're having a skin issue or something, you want to put something like directly on something that hurts.
So instead of taking like aspirin, you would say rub this on.
Like instead of like putting like a tiger balm.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like a tiger balm. Or, I was going to tell him the other suggestion you talked about earlier, I forgot. I don't want to use that. Well, first, you never even told us about what you do. First of all, let me tell you about my boy Ted. Ted and I go way back, like two pimps in a Cadillac. I used to cut his hair at Birds, and one day I was cutting his hair, and I said, Ted, I think I want to start a business. And the next time he came in, I think he knew I was more passionate about it, because I was more and more, and I already knew he was a businessman. And you know, you gravitate towards the people that you know that are doing things that you want to do, or similar to what you're doing. And I didn't know shit about it. Yeah, and I didn't know shit about it. And right off the bat, Ted knew I didn't know shit about it, because he goes, "Do you have a business plan?" And my answer was, "What's a business plan?" And so he was like, "Come to my place, and we'll talk." We'll talk. And so he's essentially the first one that just took my hand and was like, you know, this is what a business plan, and you got to get the, you know, your area, you got to get the marketing data of your area and fucking figure this shit out. I was like, damn, that's what's up. So he just isn't here to like push or whatever. He's been fucking with me for 5 years, 6 years now. And so when I heard that he was doing this, and we wanted to do a CBD podcast just because we know that it has a big fucking spotlight on it, and I'm just glad you're here to.
And it helps people.
Yeah, I mean, it really does.
From everything I hear about it, it's helped a lot.
Everybody, whether you're fucking old or young, it helps you.
Well, not everybody wants to take aspirin. Not
course
everybody
not.
wants to take Tylenol.
Well, they realize that like people are starting to wake up now. They realize that this shit that we've been getting isn't the only option out there. Now this is the only option we've been getting, but this ain't the only one out there.
Yeah.
And now this shit's just starting to blow the doors off of everything that they've been trying to suppress pretty
Yeah, for
much.
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you never really did justice on introducing your line, what you're about, what you're representing today, and all that
man.
good stuff. So, man, like, do your thing on that.
Cool. Well, I mean, first, I'm humbled that you think so highly of me.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I used to watch him on like him and before his wife got pregnant. I used to watch him on social media, and they're like in between two mountains on the beach, and I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like on a boat with pulling fish out the water. I'm like, where like Thailand and like they're in all these different secluded places, living for like months and weeks, and I'm like, God dang, that's a good life right there. But yeah, so yeah, I lived through y'all. I'll let y'all know. So, but yeah,
man, so,
that's
I mean,
genuine.
Like at the base, like I'm an entrepreneur and I'm someone who's focused on, supporting the companies and building the companies that are going to make this world a better place.
Yeah.
Like our whole business is working on transformative technology, and there's a lot of different ways that I think, that applies. And there's a lot of different sort of categories of technology that we think are transformative. But one that, I'm really passionate about is like plant medicine and wellness and healing, what the future of medicine and healthcare looks like. And so, I'm someone who had been sort of tangentially involved in the cannabis business for a little while, had tried CBD a bunch of times, never had any effect from it, thought it was total bullshit, and just had kind of written it off until the middle of last year when someone invited me, to come and try their product that, they were making in Colorado. And I just had this conversion moment, and I tried it, and I was like, wow, like this is the real thing. Like this is really interesting. And got a chance to look at the market, right? And was like, okay, why had I had so many bad experiences with it in the past and had such a good one here? And start to just dig in and look at the research and have a little bit of like a science background so I could understand, what's happening in the body. And basically what I realized was you just have all these people cashing in on this industry that they think is the hot thing right now, with no regard to how they're making it, with no regard to how they're tracking it, and just without a lot of ethics behind it. And so is
there any way to stop that? I mean, is there any way to?
I mean, we're pioneering ways to stop it. So, for example, like if you look at that, there's a QR code that's on the box. If you pull that up on your phone and you scan it, it tells you the story, like from the farm to the lab to the bottle to your house, right?
Nice.
And tracks
Kinda
it
like
every step
Amazon.
of the way.
Shipping en route.
Yeah,
be
and
there by
then
now.
like just standards, like for example, the facility that we make it in, they have a food and beverage manufacturer license. Like if you're gonna put something in your body, don't you think it should be the same standard that's applied to like food and drinks and other things, right? So it's just this unregulated market right now, and what we're doing is saying, you know what, like even though there are no rules in place for it right now, where do we think the rules should be? Like where do we think this is going, right? If we're doing this ethically, and we're just adopting them now. I mean, we're years ahead of where the law is right now, just because like it's the right thing to do. And that's something that we like to teach people is like whether you take our product or anyone else's product, like no worries, right? We just want people to get better.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're gonna get better, like you need to make sure that what you're taking is the real thing, that's not going to hurt you, that there's no heavy metals in it, that there's no pesticides, mold, mildew. I mean, there's tons of that stuff and products that are out there right now.
So don't get the CBD from the convenience store.
Yeah, like the gas station stuff, man. It's scary
that shit is
exists.
dangerous. I see those gummies and like the colors rubbing off on the plastic on on the inside. I'm like, nah, I'll pass. But I will get those rhino pills, please. Dude, we're celebrating anniversary.
Yeah, man. So it's just about teaching people like the importance of knowing what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, for sure.
And just being able to have the understanding of it. And so, like ask the company to see the lab test, make sure that they're using a third party lab. So like, a lot of the times you ask them to see the COA, it's the certificate of analysis, which is essentially like, the scientific test that shows you what's in it. If you get that from a company and it's on their own letterhead, like they probably made that up, man.
Yeah.
Or it's like their own lab. Like they're the one who are paying the people to do it. Like we send it to a third party lab that's certified. Their results have to match our results, So there's just a lot of things you can do to make sure that
y'all
like,
go
you're
that
getting
extra
a safe
mile.
product.
Y'all going the extra mile now just to show people that y'all care, as opposed to like do some unethical shit and then some rules go into place and we're like, oh, we're rebranding because we weren't really going by those standards.
And that's the thing is like people right now are like, man, it costs so much more to like make your product. It's so much harder. How are you guys going to compete? And it's like, 2 years from now, like the market's going to catch up with us. Like we're just ahead of our time. Like, you know, rules are going to start coming into place for this. And we support, you know, common sense regulation around these things. Companies are just going to get pushed out of the market. They're not going to be able to comply because they haven't been doing it for years, you know? So our belief is all these other companies that are doing it unethically, like, yeah, they're going to make a lot of cash in the short term, but they're not going to exist in 2 years.
No.
Is the CBD, is it by state or is it federal? How does that work? Like, is it different from California to Colorado, or how is that?
It's both. All right. So there's a federal law that basically says you can grow hemp that has less than 0.3% THC in it. So that's the farm bill that everyone's been talking about. So separate from that, though, states can write their own rules for what they allow. And we're already seeing some states saying, I don't care what the farm bill says. We want 0.0 in our stuff. So that's one of the reasons also that we did 0.0, as we want to be accessible to everyone. We want to be able to ship to every state. So yeah, there's both the federal rules and there's the state rules, and they both interact.
Do you think that that's going to like start to become like the norm, like every state lowering the standard of THC in CBD?
Or raising it. I mean, who knows? Like, you know, states like California that seem to be pretty liberal about this stuff.
Can we
like,
get it to about 27.8%?
Are there some CBDs that have weed in them? I mean, that have THC?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's people that are making, you know, like
that are like really like getting you high. It says CBD on it, but it's really getting you high.
I mean, there's so much that's, I don't know if there's people doing that intentionally, but there's a lot of mislabeled product out there. Like the lab that we work with, they did a test of just a bunch of products that were on the market, and 85% of them were mislabeled. And the thing that was most common in the mislabeling was that it had way more THC than what it said it did. And, you know, you have people failing drug tests and stuff from it. Like one of our family friends back home in Florida, you know, their son has a mental disability, and one of the jobs that he was able to get was at the grocery store bagging groceries. And we were all so excited for him that he finally had this job. He had to take a drug test and he failed it. He had been taking CBD and it was mislabeled and it had more THC in it. It's just like the saddest thing, man, you know?
Yeah.
And
Is that a lawsuit? That's a lawsuit, right?
I mean, I hope so, man.
Yeah, I would
like,
say
it's wrong. I'll say that. I don't want to comment on that, but like, it's just wrong, right?
Yeah, that's wrong. Especially if being
that
misled.
goes back to regulation.
Yeah. And then for the people who do want it, like, you know, they can have a THC containing product if they want to, like in states where that's legal. You know, I'm sure you can get like a salve or a balm or something that has a lot of THC in it. You know, there's some people that think that has a lot of benefits.
Is there some states that are like more like accepted of it already? Like with more, like you can see there's more sales in this part, or that they, you know, like the East Coast buys like interacts more with CBD, purchases more, or West Coast or Midwest, or is there anything out there like that yet? Like, do you know?
I think, you know, the states where there's legal cannabis, like legal marijuana, you know, you definitely see more of it there. But then you see interesting cases like Austin is a perfect example, right? I mean, Texas is a relatively conservative state, but there's a lot of people taking these hemp products here. And, you know, this is just my personal opinion on why, but it's because people here have this mentality of thinking for themselves and like not trusting in the system, right? And they see that there's things that are broken with like the way that we do healthcare normally. They see that, you know, the typical stuff that they're getting at the pharmacy isn't exactly what they want, and they're just looking for more natural alternatives to it.
I mean, we've had political powers talking about breaking off from the United States, the state of Texas. So I don't doubt that logic.
Yeah, it's like where there's an independent streak where people are thinking for themselves, where they want to like just take control, right, of their wellness. I think you're going to see a lot of it more there. And that's something that we preach all the time is, you know, we've sort of like outsourced our wellness to physicians, right? And like you don't even know how to do like the basic maintenance on your body. Like just like you should be able to change a tire on your own car, like you should be able to do basic things for your own health and your own well-being. And, you know, we've almost given away our power to other people in a lot of circumstances. And so this is one of the things that we're advocating for is like retaking that power. And I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, right, or take their medication. Like super important. Listen to what your doctor says, but at least like ask good questions, right? And realize that you have a role to play in this, and you can ask good questions, and you can, you know, have an opinion on these things.
But are doctors going to be recommending CBD products now, or
there's a lot of them doing it already? Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, we meet doctors all the time that are doing research on this stuff, that are prescribing it to their patients.
And they're doing both, though. Are they doing both, like the pharmaceutical stuff and CBD, like, or some just practicing one?
Y'all do it a little bit different than the pharmaceutical companies, because the pharmaceutical companies pay them to push some of this stuff. So are y'all paying them to push some of this stuff?
No, it's like, I mean,
because it would be more beneficial.
I want to see a CBD commercial in the middle of the
But I'm saying though, they're actually pushing. I mean, they're paying to push their product. So I mean, y'all's product is way better for you. So why wouldn't you?
If you had to list the side effects,
do
what
you
would the
think
side
that's where it's gonna go?
Yeah, so like first I have to be clear that like we can't make any medical claims, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about like health and wellness, like we can't say this is going to treat any specific disease or anything, right?
Well, they say it, but then they bring it back. They're like, it'll do this,
No,
it'll
they
do
just
all
ask
these things.
on the commercial. They just ask broad questions like, "Do you lack sleep and
Do you
have your knee
frown-
hurt and
Yeah.
and do you have less hair than what you have?" Boom, here's this damn pill.
Are you
and then
getting
the fucking
older?
side effects are just like that's what
Yeah.
that's what I want
The
to listen
side
to.
effects are worse than what
All
you
right.
had.
You don't
Yeah.
have any hair growth, but you're willing
So,
to
I mean-
get erectile dysfunction. You're gonna be fucking bleeding constantly, and you're gonna lose sight potentially.
the disclaimer.
And you want fucking full head
I
of
mean,
hair.
if you drank that whole bottle right now, like you'd probably be pretty sleepy, you'd probably be pretty groggy, you
Yeah.
might wake up feeling tired, but like you're not gonna overdose, you're
No.
not gonna die, like you
No,
know,
yeah.
you'd be fine, right? So in that sense, you know, it is a really safe alternative, like to a lot of traditional things. But yeah, I think as a complement to stuff is probably like where, you know, it's going to be used the most. But also, you know, there's specific cases where doctors are starting to prescribe it a lot. There's a lot of interesting research being done by this guy, Dr. Evan Lewis in Canada, on traumatic brain injury and like NFL players and for treating concussions and stuff. And their protocol, like in the hospital where he works, involves high doses of CBD for treating these people. So
Yeah.
there's doctors that are already, you know, starting to see the benefits of it. Epilepsy, you know, like you were saying with your sister, is another one where
But the
we're
doctor,
starting to see that, you know, a lot.
When they brought it up to the doctor was like, that doesn't work.
Well, it makes
Like literally, like, how do you just say that doesn't work?
So this is one thing that's really interesting is the lack of knowledge about it in the medical community. So your body has what's called an endocannabinoid system, right? So CBD is a cannabinoid, but there's cannabinoids in your own body. So you literally have a built-in chemical relationship with hemp. Like your body is designed to interact like with hemp and products like that.
So is that why like my body feels like this now?
Yeah, because you have endocannabinoid receptors throughout your entire body. It's in your heart and your lungs and your eyes and your intestines everywhere, right? So despite the fact that that's the case and it's involved in mood and memory and pain and all these things, only 10% of medical schools cover the endocannabinoid system at all. It's absolutely insane that's not part of the curriculum. Like the endocannabinoid system has existed in animals for 300 million years. Like we can go back and we've determined that that's like when it first came on the scene, right? We didn't discover it until the 1990s. It's a relatively new thing. And so now it's just starting to kind of catch on. And, you know, you said the doctor's talking about that doesn't work. Like, you know, until a year ago, I didn't think it worked either. You know, and I'm someone who was in this scene already because most of the products that were out there were frankly quite terrible.
Yeah, they were.
This does work. You know, I'm not saying it's going to treat all those medical conditions, but like there's a lot of benefits, you know, that come from it. There's a lot of therapeutic benefits and there's a lot of way that it's helping a lot of people. So I just say, you know, like rediscover it, try it for yourself.
try
If
it
you're
out.
a physician who's listening, like I'll mail you a free sample and you can tell me what you think.
How long do you think it'll take before it's accepted like that? Like pills and stuff like that?
I mean, to me, I feel like it's growing at a fast rate, so it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be too much longer. And it seems like, especially in states where they don't have like legalized marijuana yet, that those are gonna be the ones that are accepting it like as quick. I mean, I know a lot of people here that fuck with it. You know what I mean?
It works and people need it.
Yeah.
So it's going to catch on, right? And I think pretty quickly, like it's becoming a part of our cultural conversation right now. More and more people are knowing about it. You know, people who were like really against weed, I think, are now starting to open their eyes to it. So I think, you know, the time has come for it and the pace is going to be a lot faster than what we might think it is.
Yeah, because we want this shit now. We want it now. We want it all forms: flour, oils, creams. I mean, I've had lube. I mean, it's out there, man. It's out there. They got it. They got it. And the future's bright for CBD, which is exciting for us. Does anybody else want to in this podcast any certain way? Anybody got last things you want to say before we bounce?
You know, really, man, like the message I have for people is always know what you're putting in your body, right? Make sure that it's been tested by a lab. And also just expand your horizons to appreciate that, like, there's so much more to hemp-derived wellness than just CBD. Like CBD is just one compound, and the majority of what you see on the market is that it's just CBD. Ours has over 100 beneficial compounds in it from the plant. So you want to make sure you're getting something that has sort of these really broad benefits. We developed a new standard called Broad Spectrum Plus because we have sort of like the broadest spectrum of these beneficial compounds that are found in it. So I'd say that's something that people, should be aware of too. And yeah, try it.
Definitely try it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lead us here. So when clients walk in and you want to, we'll keep some juices
I'm
out
definitely
here.
gonna use this on my elbow.
Yeah, man, and give us a follow on social media, on Instagram, Amma Healing, same on Facebook.
AMMA Healing.
Yep. AmmaHealing.co is the site. Check it out.
Yeah, are y'all already moving this online?
It's selling, man. You can go on our website and get some right
order,
now.
try it out.
How much is this?
So that's like a sample size one. So the normal one's bigger than that, but basically like for 90 or 100 servings, it's I think $70. But we have some stuff on sale. So like if you can get rid of your pain for less than $1, like I think it's a really good deal.
It's worth it.
Sure.
I think it's really, really worth it, man. Well, man, we appreciate you taking time out of your day. We appreciate your wife coming here and spending some time with us, and your crew, your partner, and your posse. They look real tough over there. Like you don't want to, like, don't fuck with them type shit. You know what I'm saying? So
slinging plants.
Yeah. So we're gonna stay away from them goons over there. Well, man, this wraps up another episode of We Got You. We got my man Ted, Amma Healing. We got B Jackson over here. Got myself, Damien Reyes, and we'll see you next time. We got you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
man. Appreciate you. Man, that went good, right? Yeah. Appreciate you, senor, man. Thank you for taking some time out of your day.
Likewise, man. Dude, you're great, man.